If you guys been in sales for about 1 to 2 years and nothing that you've actually learned from your training classes or videos you've seen is actually sticking on live calls, there's a reason for this, and not many people like to talk about it. If you're anything like me, you probably watched a lot of videos, read a lot of sales book, or even bought courses. But when you actually get into a live call, everything freezes. You don't know what to say, or you can't say with confidence. Now, this isn't because you're bad at sales. This is because you were taught sales backwards. So in this video, I'm going to break down the real reason why the sales training that you've learned isn't sticking onto live calls. And we'll also talk about the three foundational skill set that every rep needs to follow to actually apply what they learn onto live calls. So my name is Eric Lee. So me and my team, we've done over close to $30 million in revenue just in the last 4 years alone. And I've coached over hundreds of sales reps in my career. So in this video, we're going to call this the three foundational skills. I call it the three pillars of sales. And guys, I don't want you guys to just watch the video. Get the paper out and get your pen out and write down everything I'm saying, because I'm going to give you guys some really good actionable steps for you guys to actually take and start making impact in your sales game. So the first pillar I like to talk about is called certainty. So what certainty is, it's a natural confidence that comes from three belief systems. The first belief is belief in the product and service that you're providing or selling. Second is the belief in your own process. Third is a belief in yourself. So without certainty, like I said in an earlier video, it makes it really hard for you to start applying the things that you learned in your training class or a course that you may have bought. Because without that confidence, when you get into live calls, it's very hard for you to start applying those things that you learned. So that's a big mistake, and especially amongst the new reps, that happens most commonly because they're not really confident in themselves. They don't really know how the product works, and of course, they don't really have a belief in themselves. But I can also say that even the tenured sales reps tend to deviate from this belief system, where they start to lose belief in themselves and their process based off the results they're getting. So to build this natural certainty, or I call it natural confidence also, you need all three belief systems to work together, not just one or two. Because the consequence of not having all three of them work is that you will start to self-sabotage yourself during the sales call. An example is if you don't have a belief in the product and service, meaning you don't actually believe that the product and service is actually helping the person you're talking to. Not only you're going to sound guilty when talking about it, but you're not going to sound certain. You're not going to sound confident when talking about the features and the outcomes. But also when it comes to objections handling, you're not going to push as hard because you feel like your product is crap. So if you won't buy it, then why would the other person buy it? Second thing is also, if you don't have a belief in your process and yourself, you will find yourself doubting yourself a lot during this call. Doesn't matter how good your process or your script is, you're going to sound very uncertain. You're going to feel almost like you're blind when you get into your sales call because you don't think it's going to work, or you don't think you're good enough to sell this. So you're going to self-sabotage yourself by sounding weak. Your tonality is going to be quite uncertain. And of course, the prospect's going to feel this and they're not going to buy from you. So let's talk about how you can build this three belief system. So first, how you can build a belief in the product and service. Very easy. The reason why you don't believe in the product and service is because you don't think it's helping the person out. So what you need to do is get a pen and paper and just start writing down all the problems that your prospects is facing in this market. For example, if you sell a life insurance, for example, right, then write down all the potential problems the person will have if they don't have your product. Write it all down, right? And you should have about 5 or 10. If you can't think of any, go ask your peers, go ask your sales manager, go online. You can find plenty of examples. Once you get all those problems down, now compare your solution, your product and service, and see how many of those problems that you can actually solve. And you'd be surprised that it solves most or a lot of the problems that you wrote down. Now, another thing to realize is that you don't need to have a perfect product and service. So a lot of people think that because their product and service is not perfect or doesn't fit everyone's need, they don't believe in it. Now, the truth is, guys, there's no perfect product and service out there. You could say you might have a product that's more affordable but may not have enough feature. The problem is that the feature may not be good, but there's affordability factor to it. Vice versa, you may have an expensive product with a lot of great features and benefits, but the problem now becomes that a lot of people can't afford it. So there's never a perfect situation. You have to accept this, that your product is not meant for everyone at a certain price point or certain features, but there are a lot of people out there in different categories that do need your product. So after doing this exercise, guys, you guys should have more of a clarity. Now, I don't mean you have to be you have to be passionate about your product now because you went through this exercise. That's not what you're looking for. It's more so just a realization and just more of a mature mindset when it comes to viewing your product and service. Because now you understand that, hey, it's not meant for everyone, but there is a market where people genuinely need this product and service, and I can really help them out. And that realization alone will give you this automatic boost of confidence that won't leave you. It's actually going to stay with you permanently. And you can do this exercise much as you want. Like I usually tell my guys, we should do this at least every month or every quarter just to reinforce our belief. And sometimes when you do this exercise, there's different problems that you come up with. Sometimes might be having a call and you might notice a different problem that you never thought of, and then your product and service actually helps them. So that's one way of going about it. To build a belief in your process and yourself, the second and third belief, there's two things you have to do. One, you cannot generalize your skill set and your process just based off today's results or your past results. This is a lot of trap that not just new reps, but tenured sales reps get into because they may have a bad month or quarter and they start to not believe in themselves in the process. And a lot of times they start changing things and actually end up making it a lot worse because whatever process they were using in the past may have worked for them, but they start changing it all because of they stop believing themselves in the process. So that's number one. Don't generalize your current results or your past results. Two, really understand this, right? Understand that as long as you keep improving your process, as long as you keep improving yourself, believe that you will get good. Believe that your process will work in the long run. Why is this so important? Because if you don't believe that, if you don't have this trust in yourself and your process, then every time you get into a sales call, you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to second guess every word you're saying, and it's going to completely ruin your confidence in the way you're saying things. And your prospect is going to see this. So the thing we want to really show is we want to get rid of this doubt. We want to get rid of this uncertainty and just having a simple belief in your process or yourself. And just having that belief alone will get rid of your doubts and make you feel and sound more confident. That's what we're doing. The goal is not to make a perfect process. You don't need to have a perfect confidence in yourself, but just to believe that, hey, if I keep working on myself and my process, it will work. If I keep doing this, it should work. That realization alone will make you sound more confident naturally without putting any effort actually into confidence. And that's what we want to do. And as you keep doing this, as you keep having this belief, your process will get better because you believe in that. You will get better in sales because you believe that, right? So those are two things. Don't generalize your results. Don't generalize, your process and yourself based off just a couple bad months. And two, just strongly believe that, hey, if I keep working on this, if I keep using this process and I keep working on myself, I will get good. So the second pillar is engagement, another very crucial pillar, and is the way you engage with people, the way you use your tonality, the way you show your empathy, just being human when conversing with the prospect. Now, the biggest mistake I see, again, with new sales reps and tenure reps is this. As much as the first pillar is very important, like it's very important to be confident, but if you can engage people with that confidence, you're not going to be able to connect with people. You're not going to be able to build the right trust because you're going to sound either too salesy, too enthusiastic, and just not really there in the same level as the client. And this usually happens because when we're thinking about sales, when we're talking to a client, 99% of the time, we're not really thinking about the person. We're actually just thinking about ourselves, what we're going to say, our sales numbers, our quota, our commission, how we're going to close this person. Like we're not really present with the client. And how you can fix this is by changing your intent. This is an exercise I like to go to. It's an intent exercise. Whatever your intent is, your engagement will follow. So you don't focus on engagement. You just focus on what your intent is when you get into a conversation. And to change your intent is just to have the right thought before going to the call and during when you're on the call. So for example, if your intent is just focusing on, if you just focus on yourself, my sales, my quota, my commissions, what I'm going to say, then you're going to have worse, your engagement is going to suck, essentially. The more you think about yourself, the poorer your engagement is. The second thing, the more you think about the client, the more you think about helping them out, helping them win, helping them understand their situation they're in, the process, and some of the consequence, and how our solution can really help them out, better your engagement is. And it is automatic, guys. You don't actually have to think about your tonality, how you sound. You just have to focus on just helping the client out, help them win and understand. Then your empathy, your tonality, your confidence, it all comes into play. Like that connection just gets built naturally. The things that I'm teaching you guys is nothing new. I mean, when you're talking to a regular person outside of sales, that's how you talk. You talk with some type of intent. Like you're not trying to, when I'm talking to my friend, I'm not trying to sell this person. I have a certain intent, which is to have a good conversation. So whatever I say and the way the words comes out just sounds like I'm having a conversation. The funny thing about sales is that when you're having a sales conversation, you shouldn't be focusing on sales at all. You should just be focusing on just having a good conversation with the client and helping them understand certain problems they may have, understand the current process and how that can impact their business or benefit their business. I mean, it's literally just having a conversation, guys, just being as human as possible. But because of the nature and environment that we're in, maybe, your sales manager is really pressuring you to get a sale, or you need a big commission next month to pay for vacation. This is really hurting you, actually, ironically, because you're not really behaving like a proper human being when you get into these calls. So it's very unnatural, and the clients and the prospect feel this energy from you. So you don't want to do that. So the simple trick is this, guys. It's not a trick. It's literally just life. Just focus on helping the client out. Your engagement will work on itself. Lastly, the last pillar is the pillar of simplicity. Simplicity. Now, this pillar actually deserves a separate video, but I'll go into some high-level overview what it is. So simplicity is creating a sales process that not only is clear for the prospect to follow, but they have a clear understanding of what their current situation process is, what are some of the risks and consequences that can come out of that, and then how your solution can clearly fill in those gaps and help the client out. And when I use the word clear, like the client needs to clearly understand this. A lot of people may have a good sales process, but it's not really focused on the client. It's more so focused on what you want to say. You have to create a sales process designed for the client to easily understand this. So when it comes to simplicity, first of all, I have to use small words. One of the things I like to teach my sales rep is, you're talking to a client, pretend the client is either 8-year-old or 80-year-old. Right? What I mean by this, don't use big words. Don't speak fast. Don't complicate things. Keep things super simple, because as soon as a client don't feel like they're understanding you, this could be a huge miss when it comes to closing. A lot of the clients don't like to speak up when when they misunderstood you. So they keep things silent, and it builds uncertainty in them. So we want to avoid that. So keep things very simple. Keep your language pattern super simple. Again, a lot of mistakes, especially, this is more for the new sales rep. I feel like they just kind of word vomit to the client because they want to sound smart, they want to sound professional. But your goal is not to sound professional. Your goal is just clarity. Does the client prospect, do they understand what you're saying? Do they understand what's going on? Do they understand the value that your product is showing? Do they understand some of the consequences and problems that they may face by not going with you? It's all clarity. It's all simplicity. Choose simple languages, right? Use that process. Always think in the shoes of a client. Does the client understand me? Does the client understand the consequence? Does the client understand their current situation? Does the client understand the solution? That's what you need to focus on in order to create a simple sales process. So that's really it, guys. That's the 3 pillars. And this is all you need, guys, to be really good at sales. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't have to overcomplicate anything. You just have to make sure that you bring the natural confidence out of you. You're really engaging, and you have a really good, clear, simple process for the prospect can follow. And in future, guys, I'd like to make more videos to go into more details of how each pillar works and how they actually work together. And we'll talk more about that. So guys, I hope this video really helped you guys out. I hope you guys actually took your notes. And if you guys want more of a personalized advice based off your exact situation, there is a link, and I do provide a one-on-one free consultation and do a full diagnosis on your sales game to see what some of the gaps that are holding you back from achieving greatness. But that, guys, either way, I hope you guys enjoy this video again, and talk to you guys soon.